Gene and Bob, you're both back on the air. It's kind of interesting when you listen to people like Stan and you listen to people like Bob, as far as we've gone with the story, it's all laid out in such a calm, matter-of-fact way that I think a lot of the public has a tendency to lose sight of the implications of what they're hearing. But you've told the story so many times, Bob, that I guess it comes out that way, sort of in a matter-of-fact way, huh?
Yeah, it pretty much does.
All right, let us return to your story. Now you've had a chance to get in the craft, and what are you doing? What are you working on? What are you seeing?
Well, if I remember, I have just met with Barry, and we're now going over things. Let's see. Well, this is, as I said, when I first realized exactly what was going on, what the implications were, and precisely what I'd be doing. In the room, this is a lab off the main hallway, okay. And in the room is one of the reactors from one of the crafts and one of the amplifiers from one of the crafts also.
How big are these?
The reactor, I would imagine, is about 2 feet, somewhere around 18 inches, 2 feet, somewhere in that general area.
Not really big then?
No, not large at all. Yeah, odd-looking thing. Has a bottom plate and then half of a sphere on top of it. The amplifier itself is about 2 feet in diameter, probably 4 feet long, cylindrical shaped, with something that would look like plates on the outside of it, black in color. These are very unusual, and essentially hollow, very, very unusual looking devices. This isn't actually the amplifier that I always catch myself calling it that. It's the emitter. It's the device that is moved on a pivot, and it's where the gravity wave actually is or emanates from. Quite similar to a horn on a microwave system. As it turns out, gravity waves behave a lot more like microwaves. At least the gravity waves that are being produced by this system do. So you have waveguides and things of that sort that you'd see in a microwave system. Those are the main components of the craft that were in the lab at that time.
What does that suggest or tell us about the nature of gravity?
Well, actually, you have to look and see what we really know about gravity. And, we really, as it turns out, don't know anything about gravity. As people have said, we can certainly measure its forces or measure its effect on things.
Right.
But really, to this date, there is no, and a lot of people don't know this, that there's truly no conclusive evidence at the present time that gravitational waves have ever been detected in a laboratory. Now, there have been several gravitational wave detectors built, and you can assume that they're detecting gravitational waves, but they can also be detecting many other energies of, or fluxes of energies from who knows where. So it's something we can hardly measure, something we certainly know the existence of, but we know very, very little about it. It's essentially a big hole, a black hole, if you will, in physics as we know it.
Actually, the physicists that I've talked to are not altogether certain whether it's a push or a pull, and
I think are pretty sure it's a pull. But in physics today, physics itself is so fluid, yet so many people, either true physicists or armchair physicists or scientists, whoever you run into, really stand their ground on theories, yet most people tend to forget that these are just theories. They are not, these are not facts. This is a topic we know very, very little about. And as I said some time ago, the prominent theory was that there are gravitons, alleged subatomic particles that actually, accounted for the force of gravity. However, people that do bring that up really don't know much about that theory either, because there was never an actual particle called a graviton. The whole concept behind a graviton was that because I'm trying to think of how to put this in layman's terms. They basically wanted to quantify gravity. Maybe I shouldn't get into this yet.
All right, you're looking at this thing. When you see it, do you know what it is?
What are we talking about?
Well,
I've already lost myself.
Okay.
We're looking at the amplifier itself?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, we'll save this technical discussion for later then. No, basically, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I had to be led through everything. The first demonstration that was presented to me was the actual operation of the reactor. Now, this in itself is nothing short of a miracle. We're dealing with something extremely small, maybe 2 foot square, maybe 6 inches high, just on outside dimensions. And the power output of something like this is equivalent to a little nuclear power plant. I mean, it's very impressive. Also, the fact that it's not producing any waste heat, which is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics.
You bet.
Bob, not to interrupt too much, but didn't you say that reactor put out as much power as Hoover Dam?
I remember I recorded all the data I had about it, but off the top of my head now, I don't remember the output of the reactor.
The lay people like me in the audience, so they can imagine the type of power we're talking about.
But it was a huge amount of power coming out of essentially a very small place.
What did the demonstration actually entail? I mean, what did you
first
see?
was certainly not the electrical output of it, but it was showing me the gravitational field around the device. Now, the only reason I started going off on a tangent about gravity is because I guess my whole point was that we don't have a machine. There is nothing in existence that can make gravity. I've seen a lot of people, just lay people, telling me stories about how they'll watch a film on NASA and how the astronauts are training and they're in a little chamber and they're floating around and they're, in a weightless environment. They don't realize it's an airplane doing a crash dive. That there is no machine that makes gravity. I mean, at all. Nobody has that.
On Earth.
On Earth, right. And here was a device that in operation was doing this. To do that, Barry told me, he started the reactor. When it was operating, after a short time, he told me to put my hand or attempt to touch the sphere on the top of the reactor. And as my hand got close to it, you can feel a force exactly like putting two like poles of a magnet together.
Wow.
Kind of that soft
push.
Yeah, a soft push, but what you're experiencing now is more of an anti-gravity field, which is something entirely different.